your host, Gary Austin.
Hi, this is attorney Gary Austin back answering questions that I get every day from people just like yourself about matters relating to family law, divorce, child custody, and matters that fall within the realm of family law. So today's question is, what is the difference between physical custody and legal custody? I'll start with physical custody. It is what it says. Physical custody is who the child is going to reside with a majority or a significant or substantial amount of time. Oftentimes, courts use physical custody for determination of residence and specifically where a child is going to be enrolled for school enrollment purposes. Legal custody, on the other hand, is the decision-making for the child, whether that be what school they're going to go to, doctors they're going to attend, activities they will be involved in, things of that nature. Anything that deals with decision-making for a child, that is legal custody. Again, as I've said many times before, in California follows a joint rule, generally speaking. So generally, the parties will have joint legal custody and both parents will have the opportunity to have a say in what happens with a child relative to school, doctors, activities, and things of that nature. When there is a dispute, the court will serve as the tiebreaker, but you got to take it to court and show why one decision versus the other is better for or in the child's best interest. If you have any desire to speak about issues relating to this subject or others, or looking for someone who could help you move your family law case towards moving forward towards a goal that you want, please feel free to reach out to us and let's see if we can help you in reaching and achieving that goal for your child. Can I get custody of my child if I have a criminal record? That is a question to answer. Yes, you can get custody. In some of the other videos that we've talked about legal custody versus physical custody. But specifically, when it comes to a criminal record, oftentimes the courts are going to look at, as most people probably already know in California, what's best for the child. So does a record create a barrier to that? It does create questions that a judge is going to have to look into. One of those questions is, what's the nature of the offense? Is it something that's minor, or is it something very significant, a felony, some type of battery towards a child, some other significant physical violence or whatnot? Oftentimes, when we're looking at criminal records, we're really looking at, again, the extent or the gravity of the crime. How big was it? And it often comes up in cases where there is a restraining order. If there's been violence related to the child or their parent or both of them, there is a chance that you are going to be restricted or limited in your custody time with your child. The odd part for me is I actually have this very question coming up tomorrow in a case that I have. And there are some legal factors that courts look into. If it's domestic violence, the court is going to require and ask, have you completed a year-long domestic batterers intervention program? If there were drugs or alcohol involved in the particular incident that led to the criminal conviction, have you completed a drug or alcohol class? There may be a requirement for a parenting class. But I've had clients in the past successfully get back custody, even going from no custody to sole custody to joint custody. What the courts are really going to look at and what they're going to ask of you as a parent is, what is your commitment to regaining entry into your child's life? And how much effort and time are you going to put into that? I'm not going to tell you it's going to be quick, because it isn't. It's something that may take a year, 2 or more, not forever, but a real consistent effort on your behalf to show that being in your child and having custody of your child on a joint level is something that you really want. Now, if you have questions like this, or you're looking for someone to help you with matters of child support, child custody, divorce, please feel free, reach out to our office, and let's see if this is something we can help you with. And this is a big one. It's a loaded question. Why should I hire a family law attorney? I'll go a step further and say, why should I hire a family law attorney? Because they're so expensive. Well, the real question you have to ask yourself and answer is this: if I don't hire an attorney, what am I going to lose? And I can share with you countless stories of people who I've spoken with after the fact and the horror stories. One in particular, I had a client a couple of months ago. We just settled her case. She didn't seek out counsel of an attorney. And sometimes you may have to seek out counsel of an attorney before you get married. There's a reason for prenuptial agreements and things of that nature. This client married her husband. The two of them actually bought a home in conjunction with the mother. So there were 3 owners to the home. A few months later, the marriage falls apart. But by that time, the husband's on the home. At the end of the marriage, after the husband had paid, and this is 3 years after the fact, after the husband had paid a grand total of 2 mortgage payments, he then sought his interest in the home. I can tell you what it ended up being. It ended up being $50,000 after making 2 mortgage payments, simply because he was an owner in that piece of property. That's just one example. I've seen other examples where people negotiated certain things without proper counsel, without proper guidance. And then after there is a very bad deal, because I think people don't understand, after there's a very bad deal, they come back to court. The court legally, in most instances, is not going to do anything to help you out. And there are some family code sections that go even more specifically and say, if it is just a bad deal, the court is barred, meaning it's precluded, is stopped from even entertaining changing a bad deal. So there are cases in terms of custody where one person, I've had clients, for example, have criminal matters brought against them based on false allegations that took years. And after they lost custody, sole custody granted to the other parent, took years to unwind. So the need for a family law lawyer, it starts as soon as you begin thinking about issues related to your children, your divorce, property, and things like that. It is absolutely critical. And judges will tell you in court, I can't help you. I can't give you advice. Having good counsel on your side is essential if you want to make things smooth, both going into a marriage or having children, as well as coming out of it, to ensure that you're protected. Those are just a few of the stories that I come across daily. Now, if you're looking for someone to help you in matters like these, whether it be child custody, divorce, whatnot, please feel free to reach out to us and let's see if we can work together to help you get to where you need to be in your family law matter.